Well, I will give you just a little bit of an update.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's perfect. I'm actually doing really good. Been going to physical therapy. Um, Started some new uh, uh, uh what do they call that when they put the needles in you?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture with electric in it,
Yep.
and it's doing awesome.
Good. That's great news. Is that what you were just doing?
No, that's not what I was doing, but actually, I felt so good. I went this morning and I got a lot of fertilizer and been feeding the grass, and I got the goats, and I'm building the chicken pen, and I just got a little overzealous. Yeah. So, and I lost track of time. Yeah. That's the truth. It's a beautiful day and 70 something degrees and or 80, I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what happened. I went this morning though. I went last week, they did it, and then again this week, and they put it higher up on my skull this time. Um and man, I felt good.
How's your range of motion?
Man, look at this.
Oh man, yeah. Can you look
That
up?
so much better than it was.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Like,
that's awesome.
I mean, look at me. Look at me. Like, I know I'm not like normal people, but that was way better than, me looking like a, I don't know, broke neck motherfucker that you met in Texas.
Well, broke neck.
So
Redneck, but not broke neck.
no, I broke neck. Now that I had broke neck in Texas. Yeah. Yeah. The red never fight. Well, it did for a minute. But anyways, yeah. So yes. Been
You're using
excited.
your new camera, your new setup?
Sir?
Are you using your new camera, your new setup?
No.
You didn't have enough time to set it up today.
Bro, I just got it. We hand it to me, but maybe I'll try it while we're doing.
No, dude, let's dig in. We have 43 lessons minutes left, and let's make a deal. If one of us are late again, we Venmo the other $100.
Mm, okay.
But you haven't taken it out of the box.
No.
All right.
I started working again. I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're happy, so let's move on past the late start and let's focus on three
And I
things.
apologize. Is anybody else on here?
I don't like to keep it up while I'm looking. Not yet. I put it up in my school group that we're doing it, but
Okay.
hell, this kid's awesome and we're on time. I don't think. Yeah, we have to make sure that we're doing it awesome.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's
Yeah.
happening now. And I always record the Zoom and repost it because sometimes with the stream, it stops streaming partway through. But as far as I know, it's streaming right now, even though I don't see it right now. I may have to get like streaming software besides this. Yeah, dude, I finished a sales call and I was like rushing to get on time, and then I'm like, where the hell is Josh?
Yeah. Yeah. I did that for you last week or something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I told you." Yeah, but I didn't tell you. Yeah.
So you're feeling better. You're getting some work done. You're back to work. How's the belly fat going?
Been doing some fasting. Um, Watching my diet more.
You're
You know.
watching it go into your mouth?
Oh yeah, I'm totally still on the seafood diet. Seafood, and I want to eat it, but you know, uh, I'm trying. You know, and
What
then
did Yoda say? There is no try. There's either do or do not.
um, well, I can always do better. So when I say I'm trying, I know I can do better, but I don't believe in a diet, so I need to change my lifestyle a little bit better, and then keep up on it every day. So, you know,
When it becomes a priority and a decision, then your lifestyle will automatically start changing because you've decided that that's what you want.
mm, yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I still can't go like to the gym and start running. Like they don't want me doing all of that yet. So it's hard to really.
Just walk and fast and drink water, dude. That's all you need to do.
I,
Anyone that
drink-
wants to lose weight,
I
fast, 36 hours once a week, eat for 8-hour windows the other days, drink your body weight in water in ounces, and walk for a mile or an hour every day. You'll lose weight.
I totally agree. Yes, my pants are feeling better.
So you look great. You seem energetic and good, and I'm so excited about the idea you came up with, Purpose Agenda. So I have two topics I really want to talk about today.
Okay, awesome.
I'm hoping you have some too, and if not, next time you will, I'm sure.
Man, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I love our little weekly meetings. If nothing else, it's just two opposite people that are totally like minded, that get to collaborate ideas together once a week, and that means so much. And both of us are high yield individuals, you know, and we're going to get to where we want to go. It might be different paths, but we're going to get there. And I believe that. And so, if nothing else, if nobody even gets in on this live stream or whatever, just what we're doing is worth $1 million.
100%, 100%, because it's real, it's honest, and both of us have already been wealthy. Both of us are on our way to becoming wealthy again, and people can track our journey with us as we go. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, what's purpose mean? It gets thrown away all the time, and like, I don't know my purpose, or I don't have a purpose, or I have a higher purpose, or what do you think what's purpose mean to you?
What's important? Importance, I guess, is a good word for me.
Give me
So,
an example.
um, well, if I'm running late to work, um, then I'm gonna have a lot of purpose on getting there. Whether I skip my coffee or I don't brush my teeth, or so I'm putting priorities in front of something, right? So I screwed up, and then that's my fault. But I'm gonna make sure I get there so I can make that dollar, um, and be on time and whatever. So because that's going to lead into what I really want on the back end. I want a house on the beach. I want a fucking airplane. I want this. I want that. Whatever. So, but right now, if we just go real small, we can say purpose is what's right here, right now, and then that's what I really. Those little small decisions are the things that are going to lead to that big one.
So your purpose isn't the house on the beach or owning your own airplane?
No,
Dude, you and I once again are in 100% agreement. Our purpose is always whatever we're doing at this exact moment.
see, yeah, yeah.
But what about all this? I mean, I'm very into the metaphysical energetic science and spiritual science and how energy systems work. I mean, there's a lot of talk about, hey, as soon as I find out what my purpose is, I can get on that and follow my purpose. And I know we all have a higher purpose than just going to work, making a living, living each day. Like, what about all that?
Well, you remember when you and I was talking at the very beginning? I said, my grandpa told me, or my papa, let me just say, my papa told me, never use a $3 word when a 2-bit word work.
Mm.
And he had his doctorate degree and this and that and all. So I think is what he meant was do the small steps, and those small steps will lead into your purpose. If you're doing everything you can to the best of your ability every fucking day, then you're going to get to your purpose. You may not even know it because whatever you think your purpose is, you're going to surpass it. And you're going to do way more than what you thought you could do at the beginning.
All right. Once again, I can agree with you more. And if I even could add to that, like here's my belief. We are energetic slash spiritual beings having a physical earth experience with what I like to call our human avatar, our body, with a gift of intellect and free will. Now, each of us We're energetic essence. We're streams or parts of, extensions of God, source light, the highest energy. But there's not a particular purpose we were put on this planet to do, but there is an impact that we're capable of making. And our desires, the things we naturally desire, want to move towards, whether it's a house, a boat, writing a book, speaking on stages, they're there for a reason. And if we follow those desires ethically, with our values, and with focused hard work and focused dedication, then our purpose reveals itself. The path opens up. Like it'll go in a direction you never even expected if you let it, but you got to get off your ass and take the next step.
Right,
You got to show
because
up for work.
yeah, yeah,
You said you're going to show up to work. Show up to work. Don't say, oh, it's not my purpose. I'm not going to work today. Bullshit. Purpose is always what you commit to doing or what you have to do at that moment.
yeah. Yeah. So no, I 100% agree. I'm sorry. I just got sidetracked. Ashley found a snake in our basement. So
That happens. These snakes are distracting. Tell Ashley I said, hey.
Hi, just having a heart attack.
She's having a heart attack over here. I'm trying to take care of her.
Hey, you want to take a quick break? I can sing a song while you go take care of that snake.
No, it'll be all right, I think. Anyways, Ashley, why don't you talk to Tom? I'll take care of that. No, I'm already gone.
Well, Ashley, nice to meet you.
You too. I guess I'm the stand-in because I went to close the basement and there's a snake in there. I was like, yeah, nope.
How often does that happen?
Never. So it was either he gets it out or I burn the house down. So
I'm glad he's getting it out.
yeah.
What does purpose mean to you, Ashley?
Goodness. I think that
Wait, that could be your answer. Purpose could be just goodness.
Yeah, it really could, or meaningfulness. I think that anything that is meaningful for every individual carries a different purpose. And what's meaningful to all of us is different.
What's meaningful for you?
I think it's being personally, but also successfully strong and able to, even in times when you're not strong, be able to pivot and create something that still sustains and moves forward and drives toward a goal or an objective.
What's your big goals or objectives right now?
Oh my goodness. I would say that it is driven really by craving the desire.
She's about to leave.
To not kill Josh. Yep, gotta go. Bye.
Oh,
hey,
get rid of it.
I love that you caught it with your bare hands, and I love that you're playing with it. And I love that. See, I'm not scared of snakes either at all. I'm fine with snakes.
Not me. Nope.
They're slithery, and I don't know if I was as comfortable as Josh was just then, but I was more scared of bees than I was of snakes.
Yeah, I don't care if it is like a money snake. I'm not touching it. Get it out of the house. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. So I think for me, purpose is driven by what's meaningful to you.
What do you think people make a mistake about when it comes to trying to find their purpose?
Well, I think a lot of people try to value their purpose. They think about a purpose and they think about what's important to them, but they try to drive that purpose based off of monetary value instead of satisfaction or longevity. I think that short term people look at, oh, I could do this today and start this and go over and do this and change this, and it's going to bring a large monetary value for me, when in reality it's not meaningful enough for them to drive that agenda. So I think that is one of the biggest mistakes people make is they try to drive an agenda based on a monetary value to find purpose, and they think that will satisfy that craving, but it really doesn't. And then
Guilty. I've done that
yep, I have to.
more than once.
Yep.
Once
And then,
legally and once illegally. Just saying.
yep, I mean, it happens. But I think you just go down a road then of, it's continuing a bad pattern of driving purpose from a monetary value instead of something that actually is meaningful to you.
I 100% agree because
Yeah.
I got wealthy following
Mm-hmm.
chasing the dollar and feeling that when I got to a certain dollar amount and a certain degree of financial freedom that I would feel great. Finally, the white trash and the poverty all washed off of me and now I'm somebody. I felt exactly the same, but now I just had this status of money to lean on, but it didn't feel natural, authentic, or good because I was using money the same way I used to use drugs to sort of fill up a void of, gosh, I hate to even admit this, but the void of not knowing your own worth and thinking that money will define it.
It's almost becomes an addictive craving, the same as drugs or, the greed of money, and there's no actual satisfaction behind it. And then you just fall into this trap of, oh, well, okay, I did that and I made X amount of dollars and that's not making money anymore. So I need to jump over here. But I also think purpose is, it's driven by things that are meaningful, but a lot of that comes from people needing to be structured enough to set goals and understand what they need to do to meet or maintain those goals to drive a meaningful purpose. And a lot of people don't understand that. I think it's a misconception that, oh, well, this person did it, so I can go do it, no problem. But if it's really not meaningful to them, are they willing to meet the goals to drive the purpose and the meaning behind the purpose?
Discipline is a word that turns a lot of people off.
Yep, it is. It really is. I think being disciplined is something that everybody's like, oh, but I don't have to because nobody's my boss. I'm my own boss, or I started my own company, or I'm mowing my own yard, or I'm cleaning my own house. But you still have to have self-discipline to reach those milestones and goals and achieve that. And I think I see it every day in the industry that I'm in. And it's generally in young people that grew up in a generation just below me or the same generation as my kids. And they're just raised different and they don't know how to be self-disciplined or create a purpose with a meaning. And I think that, for you to drive a purpose, it really has to have meaning.
That meaning, I agree. You said two things. One is if we desire something, and we're talking not, I just desire to watch Netflix or I desire to have pizza, or that's a want, that's a craving. But if you desire something in your essence, your inner energy, your soul, your spirit, then the discipline just isn't it's desire. It's doing the doing because you desire to have that impact or that outcome.
Yeah. And it's not as difficult. Those things.
You don't have to motivate yourself to go to work, do you?
Nope.
Because I bet you, and I have just barely met you, I bet you desire to be the best at your job and better than other people in other companies at the same job because you desire to be the very best you can be at that and move up as high as you can until you move up to the next thing. That's just how I perceive you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my industry and organization, I think the biggest overall misconception is that power comes from rank or it's driven from title. That's very much a statistic. I sit in a room with a lot of people who are at an executive level, a CEO level, but I can still command the attention of a room. And it took me 30 years of leading groups of people to understand what that takes, because I have to understand the meaning driving my own purpose, but I also have to understand the meaning behind theirs.
To thine
And
own self be true.
yep,
Know thyself.
yep. So that's important. Always understanding the agenda of the person you're talking to, or the meaning behind their purpose when you're selling a product or growing a business or creating a platform. Those are super important things you have to know.
You said something about when obstacles come up, when challenges come up, when things come up, being able to pivot and keep going. Here's my big belief. Ashley's taking your place, Josh. You are now
See
fired.
that? See that?
So our purpose is always in this moment, and when we're moving towards our desire and what we know we're capable of and the impact we want to make, inevitably there's going to be obstacles, problems, and challenges that pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But our purpose in that moment is to handle that. I call them your contrast experiences, to handle that experience in a way that aligns with your values, your desire, and your purpose. And purpose happens one moment at a time.
Yep. And
Hold on, I got something. Oh, because I think, okay, so purpose is what you're meant, like you was put here to freaking do, right? That's your purpose. That's why you're here in that moment.
That
Now,
moment, the purpose happens in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your desire is what you believe or you dream past that moment. Your decisions are going to be based on what you do at that moment to reach your desire.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to reach the desire, because we're humans, we must overcome certain obstacles and certain challenges that could easily make us turn the other way or quit or do something easier. But when we face those challenges and go through the pain, the heartache, the uncomfortable uncertainty, and we get through it, then we impact others.
Yep. Yep. And, that's huge in a way, because a lot of people don't have the grit, or even the understanding behind it to even attempt to face that. They just give up, or they quit, or they're easily beaten. And that happens. And so I think you really have to understand, again, the desire or the meaning or the purpose. You have to really know the outcome and understand your own value, as a person, as a self, to even head in that direction. And if you don't, you're easily going to fall.
Understanding our own value, knowing ourselves, knowing what we truly are.
Yep.
And I believe we're an extension of God's source light. And
Yep.
I mean, how can that not be valuable?
Right.
But it took me 50 years to figure that out.
Yeah.
I thought that my job made me valuable, my wife made me valuable, my body made me valuable, my bank account made me valuable, my status made me valuable, my funny, charismatic personality made me valuable. But it never was any of that.
But the center of all of those things is you and your self-worth. I mean, it's you. We're all the center of our own. Everybody says you get in your own way is a term I've often heard. But you're also, sometimes we can be our own self-destructive person and self-destruct because we've allowed that to happen, rather than see our value, rise above it, and know that the charisma, the bank account, the happiness, the family, all of the things are the source of us.
Right, because that's only as good as your last fuck up.
Right.
And I can tell you one thing for certain. I agree with you. Every problem I've ever had in my life, the divorce, the failed businesses, the arrests, the incarcerations, the jobs I was asked politely and some not politely to exit, all of them had one thing in common.
Yeah.
Me.
It's us.
Yeah.
We drive our success, we drive our purpose, we drive our meaning. And sometimes people don't know how to do that, or they don't know how to channel that. But there's no excuse, not a good one. And I can tell you, I've heard many. There's no good excuse that I have ever heard to not be your authentic self and to drive your purpose. Never a good excuse. It's always maybe a convenient one for your screw ups, but it's never a good one. And it's never one that you should let overtake you if you're really driving purpose. If you're just here to live your life and do your thing and have fun and whatever, you know, then that's fine. But if you really want and strive to be successful, and have purpose, I think it's important that there's just not a good excuse to not be able to achieve that. Everybody can achieve happiness. You just have to pivot to make it.
Excuses and alibis just
Yep,
postpone all good things in your life.
110%. And I've heard a lot of good ones. They're just not good enough.
So I got one thing, Tom, put on top of that with Ash. So, and I'm going to go a little deeper with you because I know you like to go a little deeper. So
I love going deep. The shallow water.
Okay, so we got purpose, right? What was the other one?
Oh,
Okay,
the
we're
other
talking
one?
about what? We're talking about purpose and
I haven't brought up the other topic. The other topic is big.
no. We're right now we're talking about purpose and what?
Desire.
Oh, right.
Desire is the new discipline.
Desire, discipline, whatever. Okay, but purpose and desire. So those are things that we want personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about if we go a little bit deeper and we go destiny? And some of us are meant for very high things. We're not meant to stay where we were born at. And we have to go beyond that. And it's going to take us harder to work for so that we can get and achieve higher than the rest of our family's been or the rest of our life. Yeah. And then that we can get out of the cycle, and it's our destiny if we desire that hard enough to fulfill that.
Dude, I love that you said that because I have this hypothesis, this theory that before we come in as a human experience, living this, going through the earth school, doing what we do, we make a deal with God. God makes a deal and says, okay, you have this impact potential. You're capable of create the destiny. I don't know why I don't like the word destiny. I don't, because it's not a set in stone, but exactly what you're saying, Josh, we have this impact potential that we can make. But in order to make it, we got to go through some shit. We got to go through some tough times. We got to overcome some challenges that other people might give up to. But if we do that, more opportunities are revealed, more blessings, like they call them miracles in the Course of Miracles, but more things miraculously, synchronicity appear, but it's not by accident. It's because we're pushing through. Yeah. But we can choose to neglect it and let it go to waste.
Yep.
It's our choice.
Yep.
Every single person has the ability to make an impact on everyone in their lives, but people choose to let fear, doubt, low self-concept, past failures, not being loved enough, not having trauma. Oh my God, I hate the word trauma, by the way. We've all had shitty things happen, but to use that as an excuse or an alibi not to get through the shit that's happening today
it's just an excuse.
And we're wasting our impact potential.
Yeah.
So destiny to me is impact potential, and I agree with you. We all have it. That's why we're interested about certain things. That's why we're really good at certain things.
Right.
That's why some of us are born in families with an alcoholic mom and a dad that kills himself because he molested my brothers. But that's not an excuse or an alibi. That's okay.
Yeah.
So you have to make those choices every day to fulfill your destiny because you have a great destiny in front of you.
To reach your own purpose and potential.
See?
And all we have to do is show up every day.
Yep.
And do the best we can.
That's it.
Yep.
And not chicken shit out. Yeah. Like
Like if
You
we
know,
wouldn't have showed up in the hotel room that day and agreed to be roommates, we wouldn't have met. We wouldn't be having this conversation. And
Mhm.
we don't know what great things will come from these conversations, but they're authentic and real. So it's inevitable. We don't have to know the why. We don't have to know the how. We just have to know that we are showing up and doing it.
we're working for it. You know, like
Yeah.
for yeah,
I mean, but that's not, I mean, and also like it's hard. And some days it's not as glamorous as others, but you still have to like make a choice to, on a bad day, remember the good day and go back to that. Like you have to make a choice to put one foot in front of the other every day. And if you don't make that choice, I mean, nobody, it's the same thing as our happiness, our success. It's all derived from us. We are the reason. It's ours. But if you quit and it fails, you are the reason for your failure. You are the reason for not reaching a
We are
goal.
co-creating our own lives right now.
Yes.
or maybe not. I'm a little off on that because maybe not. Maybe we just weren't on the right path. That
Right.
wasn't our destiny. We tried as hard as we could, and now it's time to, like Ashley said a minute ago, to pivot.
But
But if it's, yeah. But I
listening to
think if
that
it's
inner
you
voice,
that, yeah, if it's you that changes and just says, I don't want to do that today, you're making that decision. If it's a bad situation and you don't make a choice
Right.
to get out of it, then you're
decision
choosing
is
to
power.
stay in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Decision is power. When we make the conscious decision based on our values, our desires, and our inner
Mm-hmm.
knowing, because everything we need to do, everything we need to know, is
Mm-hmm.
already all within us.
Yep.
We came with it. It came with the package.
Yep.
But we spend so much time in our ego mind and our fears and our doubts and our worries, these mind matrix that we all have, that we don't tap into our essence, our truth, I call it your true self.
Yep.
But
Or
it's
we spend
there.
too much time letting everybody else mind fuck us.
Yes.
That's a
And
choice, though,
That's a choice
and
that
not
we
a good
make.
one.
Yeah. You know,
everything
watching
is a
TV,
decision.
watching this, watching that. You got to do this. You got to drive the right car. You have to make X amount of money. Man, I don't care if you piss ass broke, but you happy. Maybe that's right where you need to be, and you're just raising that next generation of kids that are going to do something fucking awesome.
Yep. Okay, I gotta step out of this, but
Actually, it was
it was
great meeting
good
you.
to meet
Thanks
you.
for
Yeah.
your guest appearance.
Awesome.
All right, dude. There's something I want to talk about, and I bet we'll go into it more than once. And you may already know more about it than I do. And I don't know why I didn't think about this topic concerning money more. But since
Oh, we
last,
totally shifting out then, huh? You're like, well, we was talking about destiny and this. Now you
well,
want to
we're
talk
gonna
about
keep
money?
talking about purpose. Like we know that purpose happens in the present moment, and we know that we have something great we can do on this planet, every single one of us. But we have got to show up every day to do it. But
Yeah.
I'm really interested to talk about this topic with you.
All right.
And forget it's my ADD brain. I do abrupt topic shifts all the time, so bear with
I'm
me.
good with it.
Dude, the central bank. The central bank. I had no idea the history of the central bank. I had no idea that there's a group of bankers that own the world, control the politics, and that's who's really running the nation. I did not know. When I supported NFTs for decentralized banking, I did not know to the extent that central bank had power over the world, the United States, the world. Dude, what do you know about this? What are your thoughts?
So that's funny, and I'm proud of you, Tom, because I think you took a little bit out of that meeting that when we talked last time at the hotel. And I said, you got to watch the news so you know what the fuck's going on.
But the news is lying to us. They're not telling us about there's a central bank actually controlling everything else. Dude, our
Yeah,
government owes money. Our deficit is to the central bank. This is the Rockefellers and all the rich people that have been around
it's the
for generations.
Rothschilds. It's the Rothschilds, actually.
Dude,
Yeah,
our government's paying back our own central bank, and because the central bank is a privately owned institution.
exactly.
Fudge, dude, does that not just make no sense? I mean, that's nuts. And the average American does not even know this.
Okay, but remember I told you when we were talking about like getting into silver, right?
Yeah,
Because what is silver?
it's an actual thing.
It's an actual thing. It's not a printed money thing that the central bank just prints. Because the truth is, none of us should pay taxes if we own the fucking printing press,
There
right?
is no law that says we have to pay taxes. Federal taxes, there's no law that says we have to.
No, we're not supposed to.
But we're paying taxes to pay back the loan to the interest on the loan to the central bank.
Well, how about I feel bad because I got a bad credit score. So let's go back to Destiny, whatever. I got a bad credit score because I didn't pay back my medical bill. And our federal government is $30 trillion in debt.
To our central bank
Yeah.
that's privately owned by the Rothschilds.
So I'm not gonna have my numbers correct. Okay. So just I'm just gonna say I don't have my numbers correct. So it's funny that you said this. So
Okay, let's go
roughly,
back to credit score real quick because I think it's very tangible. I think a lot of people can relate. Because right now, I was at 800 credit score before this business failed. I'm at a very low score, under 600 now, and I owe still 90K in credit card debt. So that's where we are today. We're going to keep updating how our ledger changes.
so anyways, what I was getting at, so our government is telling us that we have a bad credit score, but they are like 330 trillion, I don't remember how much, in debt, right? They are in debt 100%. And the value of their fiat currency loses every day.
Well, it's designed the way the central banking
Oh
system is set up
man.
is designed to keep everybody in debt so they have control over us.
Well, I mean, yes and no. So actually, it started with the Rothschilds. This goes
Wasn't
all the
the
way.
Rockefellers in it? Like, wasn't there
No,
more
I
than
mean,
one family?
yes, because they are big. Okay, Rothschilds. It goes back to the old world, old European. Okay, and in the Morgans. Let's go back to oh, what's that Morgan banker's name? J P Morgan. Okay, and his daddy. So what they did is they went around to all these European countries and they set up banks and they gave them loans. Okay, so you had to have, so they at that time they were giving loans to countries, and America didn't want to do it because we were supposed to run a balanced budget. So, um, of course, and then America got a loan from J.P. Morgan to run and finance itself at times. Um, and that was bad. They weren't supposed to do that. It's not really in the Constitution. So, if you want to learn, and then now in 1973 or something, I believe it was Nixon, when they got us off the gold standard, um, they said that the U.S. money, and they had to do that, and I could be off of my dates. Don't quote me. So it's just around about that time. So they needed money to fight the war in Vietnam and World War II. So we just started printing money. They used to be called bonds, this and that, whatever. So we just started printing fucking money. We didn't have the gold or the silver or the oil or nothing to back it up. And then after we won World War II, the U.S. dollar became the world's reserve currency. So everybody trades in U.S. dollars. So once everybody traded in U.S. dollars, and then the U.S. said, "Hey, now Saudi Arabia or Iraq or Iran or wherever, if you're going to trade your oil, you have to do it in U.S. dollars. So one barrel of oil is worth $100, right? So now we just started backing our thing. But then we kept going to all these stupid wars, and we kept paying all these stupid stuff, and now our currency is not worth shit. That's
Well,
why. Hold on, let
and
me finish. Let me
go
finish.
ahead.
So I'm just gonna break it down hillbilly redneck style, uh, like I do. So in the 19 uh 1900, let's say, you could walk into a store, a suit store, and a man could buy a suit and get it tailored and set and suit and tie and shoes and a top hat and whatever, and it cost you a $20 gold piece, right? Boom, done. Because it was gold. Boom, flick them that coin, right? So now, if I walked into a suit store and throw them a $20 gold piece, I could still pay for it. And the funny thing about that is, a cow is worth about the same as an ounce of gold. Now back then, or an acre of land. So an acre of land wasn't, dollar a day, whatever. So I could buy that. It was tied to gold, to silver, to real things. I can still walk into a nice suit store and buy me a brand new suit with shoes and, tailor made for me. And I throw them a 1 ounce piece of gold. Do you know what that piece of gold's worth right now?
No.
About $3,300 an ounce. US dollars fiat money, because they just keep printing it. So it means nothing.
That's why they had everybody turn in their gold.
Correct.
Because they didn't want people to have that kind of value with gold.
So in the 1950s, the United States used to own about 50% of the world's wealth. We brought it all back here after the war. We owned it all. And we took all the world's wealth. Now, when I say that, that means that, one person could go to work every day, raise a family, have a front yard, mow the grass on the weekends, go on vacation, right? And we had about 4% of the world's population. But we still, in America today, have about 4% of the world's population. But now we only have about 30% of the world's wealth. And we're losing it every day. Let's be smart about money. Why doesn't our schools, they didn't teach none of us, and they damn sure ain't teaching our kids, how does checkbook work? What the fuck is interest? What's an interest account? What's
Because
compounding
America's
interest?
designed to be in debt. The schools teach us to be in debt.
Because if the Rothschilds and stuff have all the money,
it's nuts. Like, we are taught to live in debt. We are taught to be workers that accumulate debt and never work our asses off and never have enough money to pay the bills. In order to have a decent life, we have to borrow, and it's nuts that this has been going
because
on.
you can't run a $1 million company if you drive a $5,000 truck, right?
I'm not sure what that means. Oh, $5,000 truck, $1 million company. No, got it.
Yeah. See, it took you a minute.
Well, I didn't know. I thought you said drop a truck. You said drive a truck.
Drive a truck. Yeah.
Yep, I get it.
Because they say, no, you start getting a little bit successful, go spend $100,000 on a new car.
Oh, yeah, you need a better car.
So you need to get back in debt. Oh, now we'll give you a new loan.
And here's the big thing, that I've always been against war. Always. Hate it. Don't believe it's necessary. And knowing what I know now and how the central bank loves getting us into wars, because they're borrowing, everyone's borrowing money. They fund the wars. They fund both sides. They basically, every time we go to war, it means borrowing, more debt, massive spending, and it all is coming from the central bank. Like, they pushed wars. They pushed Pearl Harbor. They pushed these wars and made them happen. These wars didn't need to happen. But the central bank, first of all, they don't want everyone to know about the central bank and how it's running the show. And they give us wars to distract us. They give us an enemy to distract us. Dude, the whole 9/11 thing was a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I hate conspiracy theories, but the central bank is amazingly, I mean, part of me is just like blown away by it, but to be honest, part of me is like impressed as shit that they pulled this off for so many years.
So to tie it back into where we were, destiny, right? Well, some of these lucky motherfuckers just got born into it, okay? And it takes, when we made America back in the day, it was 3% of Americans that fought against the British. The British family is still running the central banks. They are all related to each other.
It seems like they don't want us to know. I mean,
right, because knowledge is power.
Is the Illuminati associated with the banks, the central banks?
Um, yes, but I don't know enough about the
I don't
OM
either, dude. This is
to,
all like I was
but
excited to talk to you about it because I knew
yeah,
you'd have input,
you
but
got you. I'm just glad you got red pilled, bro.
I got red pill, dude.
You got red pilled. You learned something, and you got red pilled.
No
And
one
you're just
tells you
bringing
about
this
the
up to me.
central
I
banks.
haven't researched anything,
No
so
one
don't.
tells you about it.
No. Why would they tell you how to release yourself from fucking slavery?
We're slaves of debt. There's like this god of money, and it's the central bank. It's the god of money on earth.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
People worship money.
Well, they think they do. They worship freedom and doing what they want to and going on vacation. They worship the idea of money.
They're
You
scared to
know?
death not to have it.
Oh yeah, because bad times are a whole lot easier when you got a little bit of money, right? But it's all fake money that somebody invented. So let me
Dude,
ask. You're pretty good at math, right? Let me ask you a question.
but dude, my brain is so blown by this, and it's been going on forever, and I didn't want to look at it, and it only took 10 minutes of looking at it to realize, fudge me, this shit's been going on forever, and I looked at it 10 minutes. All I can think about now is, oh my God, this is a crazy racket that's amazingly effective. That no wonder Trump's in office because he's the one that's going to take the power away from China because the central bank wants that. No wonder Kennedy got shot. No wonder all the presidents that don't follow the central bank's instructions get shot. I mean, everything
No
makes.
wonder Trump got shot, right?
Who
Twice.
knows,
Oh,
dude?
yeah,
I don't think anything happens without the central bank saying yes.
100%, bro.
Dude, I
Like,
did not know that until recently.
yeah, I am not a historian. I'm the wrong one to ask. I kind of understand how it works,
But you're laughing like,
but
dude, well, wake
like,
up.
why didn't you know this? So I'm going to ask you a question,
Okay.
a business question, right?
Okay.
And we're going to turn it into just follow along with me. So, um, and how to make money. That's what we're going to turn it into. So let's say I go to the auction or whatever, and I buy me a car for $1,000. Okay, I bought the car for $1,000, and then I park it in my front yard, and I'm going to sell the car now for $2,000. I'm using easy math, right?
Easy math.
Okay, so I'm going to sell the car that I parked in my front yard for $2,000, but I'm willing to finance some of it. So I take $1,000 down as my down payment, and I'm going to finance $1,000 at 10%, right? So now I'm financing 1,000 at 10%. What is my actually rate of return on that?
How long does it take him to pay it off?
Oh, let's just say it's 1 year. What's my rate of return?
Almost 400%.
No, it's more than that.
Really? Because the
Ashley
10%,
said 1,000%. It's more than that.
so it goes, if they're, because they're only, it depends on how much they pay, and it takes them a year to
They
pay it
paid
off.
$1,000 to me.
They pay 1,000, and what are their monthly payments?
Well, I don't know. That's besides the point. Let's say they paid it off.
So 12 times,
How? Look, listen. You're trying too hard. How much money do I have invested in this investment now?
you've invested 1,000. You've already
No,
got yours back.
and so now I'm invested at 0%.
And they're paying you interest, and that's your income, and they're not even, close to paying off the car yet because they financed it.
They owe me $1,000 on my 0% loan that I just gave them. So now off of 0%, but I'm making 10% off of $1,000. Tell me my rate of return on that. But you got to start from zero because I have nothing in it.
Oh, I get it. Dude, that's obnoxious. Is it 1,000?
I don't have anything invested in it.
No, is it 1,000%?
No, it's more. I don't have anything. It's a million.
Dude, selling money is the best business in the world.
I'm not selling. I sold debt, but I didn't sell debt because what I did is I took a $2,000 shit box, right? And I helped somebody out by giving them $1,000 loan, charged them 20% interest. They gave me $1,000. So I'm zeroed out. Now I'm making fucking money. So what did I just do?
You flipped $1,000 into
I
10,000?
I
5,000?
actually now just made money just like the central banks do every day in a lot smaller way. The money didn't exist. I created it out of thin air.
Well, it's the same thing banks are doing and finance companies are doing on a smaller scale.
Correct, because if I got the right person, I could have sold the car for $2,500.
And if their credit's bad enough, you could have financed it at 25%. Oh, dude, it's nuts.
Yeah. So that's a small version of exactly what you're talking about, central banks and fake money and stuff. I just made a scenario that was very small to explain exactly what the financial or the banks are into real life. But they're doing it hundreds of millions and trillions of dollars now. That's why America's like $33 trillion in debt. But they're going to tell you that you got to pay extra on your credit score because you want to buy a new car and your credit ain't real good.
Dude, everything is designed to put us in debt.
Everything has purpose.
Yeah, yeah. And then when you watch TV and you got
How
to
much
drive,
what Ashley just said.
she said everything has a purpose.
Yeah, like we're slaves to money by this system, and we learn in school how to get into debt, but not how to get rich. And oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me how much this impacts everyone's daily life and how homelessness exists and war exists and
Work system.
money-related crimes exist when the central bank could solve whatever they wanted if they decided to.
No, because you're wrong there. You're wrong because you're thinking that money would fix the problem. Money won't fix the problem. That's what we've been talking about. Money won't fix the fucking problem because you got asshole people all around. Money's not going to fix the problem. If the people that are bums and taking dope and making those everyday choices, they're still going to be shitheads. And yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
so money won't fix the problem because money's not even money as we think about it, right? We need real tangible assets.
What do
You
you
need.
think about NFTs and the Bitcoins and the non-centralized bank?
I think you make as much of these fake fiat dollars as you can with it, and then once you have a little bit of extra of that, you trade that in to silver, to gold, to oil, to
So
land.
going back to what you said that day in the room, and I thought you were just whatever, dude. Having silver, buying silver. I fudge and get it now. I fudge and get it 100%.
What did
I
they
didn't
use?
get it then.
You
I
got
get it
red pilled
now.
on your own, see, but it manifested into something. What I told you in that room, maybe you didn't think about it. It manifested.
But my
And then when you
subconscious was
saw
thinking,
whatever you
yeah.
saw, when you saw whatever you saw, and it's been 2 months later, and you're like, oh my God, I need to ask Josh about this.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Well, that's why we don't call each other through the week. That's why our videos are just real.
Real. All right, dude. Next week, I don't know that we have to talk about the central bank again unless epiphanies come. I believe that every war was avoidable and the central bank made it happen.
Well, I can tell you this about I don't know about every war because sometimes war is necessity and that's human nature and that's what we do and that's what we're going to do.
Not
I
on a
mean,
global scale, dude.
so hold on. What I can say is that war in the last 100 years in our lifetime totally avoidable. And personally, I went and fought my heart out, and they hurt my friends. And I've realized now it was for a lie, and that pisses me the fuck off.
Dude,
How about that? Is that a fair way to say it?
it's real.
That's all we're asking for on this YouTube channel.
It's just real, man. And
Yeah.
I mean, when you just look a little bit, it's so blatantly obvious what's happening. But if you don't look a little bit, it's all under this cloak of not
See,
knowing.
well, um,
But that's where you divide people from being a follower and being a leader. Leading with a purpose or following with
and
a
that's how the people that we're after, they're going to be leaders, and we want to teach them to be leaders. But then I was going to say, that's Ashley. But what I would like to say, no, it's the same shit, different day, because Caesar was doing this shit 2,000 years ago when they killed Jesus, and he was doing gladiator things and the big Colosseum, and riding around, and everybody was concerned about that, and Rome was fucking burning and collapsing all around him. And in America, we're doing the same thing. We're watching the NBA or the Final Four or the Super Bowl or whatever, or what's on Housewives fucking night, and we're like, oh, don't watch the news. It's stupid. It'll stress you out. Who cares? That's what they want us to think because they want us to be dumb and stupid. And so 2,000 years ago, to get back to my point, is Caesar said, it doesn't matter what the fucking Senate does, just give them bread and circuses and you can do whatever you want. Bread and circuses is now exactly what we got. We got big coliseums. We put them on TV every night. Okay, that's a circus. And then the bread is a fucking welfare check or an EBT card or a SNAP card or whatever you want to call it. As long as you can feed them and entertain them, the Senate can do whatever they want.
And the Senate is the central bank.
Well, it's the government, the Senate. The Senate. We have Senate. We have a Senate.
The central bank tells the government what to do.
That's true too.
Correct. But I think at this point, right now in time, we have people that are up there trying their very level best to fight against that. So I can't remember the dates, but you can look it up. So World War I, when that kicked off, there's a famous saying that said it was a couple of cousins of Germany and Austria or whatever that started it, and they said, "Hey, if Grandma was still alive, we wouldn't have World War I." Oh, and off.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You're looking it up. I heard you clicking away over there. I'll find it for you if you don't find it, and I'll send it to you.
Dude, it's obnoxious how much I was in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so watch the news and try to figure out what lies they're telling you today.
Not gonna do that. I'd
Okay,
rather
well,
talk
read
to
a
you about.
history book and figure out what lies they're trying to tell you today.
Oh man. Oh, give me control of the money supply, and I care not who makes the laws, because I'll own the lawmakers, their laws, and probably their grandma too.
I was close enough.
If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issuance of their currency, the banks and corporations that grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered.
Until we become a what?
Now look up just for fun now. Look up
Wait. If you give me control of a nation's money supply, I care not who makes its laws.
what you've been saying. Yeah.
Dude.
And about 50% of all single family homes now are owned by corporations. So that you will never own a single family home. So you do not acquire that wealth. Yeah. And you will always pay rent to the big
Oh
government.
my gosh. My grandfather died in a trench. My grandmother paid for the bullets with interest.
Yep.
How about, and we'll close it out at this. How about strong men create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men.
Bam!
That was good.
How about
Strong
that?
men create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men.
Correct.
I was listening.
All
All
right.
right. Lots of love to you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you too,
Sorry I was
Ashley.
a little late, bro. All
Hey, thank you. I love you.
right. All right. Love you too, man.
Love's the real currency. Talk to you later.